Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We are on episode 7, and in the last episode we were doing phase 2, and they have passed it, all in one episode, so that was cool. It was gourmet hunting, which is an interesting sort of offshoot. I was talking about that last episode, that like I kind of like the idea that there is a bit like, it's a bit of an obscure kind of thing, but it entirely makes sense. I can absolutely get behind that, so I like the whole gourmet thing of these kind of hunters that go out and in search for like these sort of different like unknown exotic foods and stuff like that. It's really cool. We got introduced to the examiners for that phase, which were Menchi and Buhara. I like Menchi, she's cool. And the chairman as well. So Netero, I believe he must be like, he's the chairman of like the Hunter Association as a whole, right? And not just the examination part of it. I might be wrong about that, but I feel like he's like the of the whole thing. So yeah, and as of right now, there are only 42 remaining in the exam itself. So we have lost a lot of people in these two phases, and I don't know how many phases are left. I don't know if it's like if it's a 3-phase thing or what. But you know, I'm guessing we'll find out relatively soon. I don't know if it's going to be in this episode, but we'll find out. So yes, without further ado, we'll get into episode 7 and see what we get. So let's go. Okay, episode 7. Interesting. Okay, so I like that episode. There was a lot of like interesting stuff, especially with Killua as well, getting a bit of backstory on him. But we'll go from the very beginning. So yeah, Netero is the exam chairman. I got it wrong. I just assumed that it was like the Hunter like overall association thing that he was a part of, and also the thing of, it said that he was this year's exam chairman. So like the examiners, how they change year in year out, they also do it with the chairman as well. And he's also got a little sort of like a right-hand man called Beans, who's not human at all. I don't know what the fuck he is, and I don't know if we're going to get any real like information on, I don't know, we've got to, right? Like on if it's world building, then there's got to be places that are like what you would consider almost like a demi-human things. So like what Beans is, for example. But yeah, I guess we've kind of seen stuff like that before. Like the guy who looks human, that we saw. He's got like all them pins in him or whatever, and he's like very mechanical almost. So yeah, I want to get some like information on those kind of weird humanoid people, and exactly like how far that extends throughout this world. Imagine humans are like still the main like species on the planet, like the most prominent ones. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, we got information on. I had the question like how many phases there were going to be, if there was just going to be 3 or what, and they said that it's normally on average 5 to 6. So I guess just like every year, they can just change how many phases there actually are, and I wonder if they can just do it on the fly. Like if they think that, I have a feeling because everything is so like in the moment of this show, like it's always on the fly, that I like, you know, like the exam had essentially already begun, you know, before they even got to the starting like place, you know, underground and whatnot. So I wonder if it's the reason why they do this, why they like change it every year, is so that they can change up the phases to test the examinees that are already that are there. So depending on how well they're doing, they can like change the phase to something different to test like their metal almost. So I wonder if it's a case of like they may not prepare it as much as what I might have previously thought beforehand. and it's just a way of, like, for them to kind of assess how how they do in, like, different situations, depending on how well they do in the previous phases and stuff. So I wonder if they could, like, if, for example, if they thought that, I don't know, I guess it could work either way. Like, if they've got a bunch of, like, examinees who they might think is, like, too good, so that would, I guess that would go with these lot, because there's a lot of good examinees in this one, that they maybe do more phases, and you know, just so that they can, like, test them in a lot of different situations, and basically try and get them to fail in a way, you know. But yeah, so Kurapika wasn't falling for it at all. She, still don't know, is smart, very fucking, you know, very peculiar about what the goings on are. He or she's not, I don't know what to call her. What should I call her? I'm kind of moving over to the idea that she's probably a girl. I think I'm just going to have to say Kurapika, aren't I? Because otherwise it's just going to be wrong at some point, isn't it? So yeah. So Kurapika wasn't falling for it at all. I guess, you know, I see when Kurapika basically said that that if it was part of the exam, that they wouldn't have specifically said, you know, you've got free time to kind of do what you want. Is that really true? Like, would the examiners and the chairman and everything like that, like, not do that? You know what I mean? Because I think, again, like I said, it's all impromptu stuff. So at any point, they just want to test how well an examinee would do in like stressful situations that pop up at random at any point, you know. So I don't know, but yeah, they just went to sleep anyway. And I guess Kurapika was right, because it's not part of the exam, you know. But yeah, so I like how as well the Menchi and whatnot, they were talking about Hisoka and how they noticed him immediately. I remember, like, in the last episode when I saw that one little scene where Hisoka was, like, ready to fucking attack. You know what I mean? That, like, I picked up on that. I didn't know that they would have done it though. But again, I guess it's showing exactly the hunters' mentality. Like, they are above and beyond everybody else. You know what I mean? They're so good that they're able to pick out the little things. That, you know. So yeah, basically they're on another level, which is great. And yeah, so Toad's basically saying that he's the oddball, and then we got, like, a little scene with him making, like, a card fucking, you know, fucking, I don't know what you call it, like a card pyramid thing. I don't know what they're called. Can't remember. It's like a card house kind of thing. But yeah, I think that there was symbolism there in the fact that the Joker card, because of course he would be the Joker, wouldn't he? That the Joker card lands on top, and I think it's symbolism of him being on top of everyone else, so above everybody else, almost in a way. So I guess his motivation is to be, like, better than everyone else, or maybe to be top dog. If there is this whole, like, hunter association thing, if there is somebody, like, at the top of that sort of pyramid, that maybe that's what Hisoka is aiming for, to be that guy. I mean, he's got this sort of, like, being sort of that one who, I mean, Satoru's basically said it as, like, he has got, like, he leans more towards the darker side of something. So this is the thing, with that tied with the idea, Killua's from a family of assassins, which, first of all, is, like, nuts, because the way he was talking about, the way Killua was talking about it, like, it was like, it's an everyday thing. Now, I think it, just because from the perspective of us hearing it as well, with Gon being there and Gon not, like, reacting to it as something bad, because it's Gon, right? And he doesn't like, of course he wouldn't say anything bad in that. He's just intrigued by the world as is, you know. He's not like a normal typical human in that kind of way, you know. The way he sees things is so, like, he sees like the best side of everything, even the bad stuff. You know, like his dad leaving him, right? To go out and fucking explore the world, and you know, any normal person would be like, the fucking father literally just left his child. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good thing. But the way Gon sees it, he sees it as like a good thing. And then, you know, he hears about the, like Killua being like from a family of assassins, and it doesn't faze him one bit. And it's like, I don't know if it's just from our perspective hearing it from Gon, but I want to know what the general consensus is about these things in the world. Like, if you're from a family of assassins, does that mean that you are like criminals? Because the way they were talking about it, it almost seemed like they weren't. So it's almost like this whatever the overall hunter association thing is, or whatever, the exam that you're taking to become a hunter, seems like it doesn't mind if you are like on the more darker evil side or even on the good side. There's no like, you know, like it's not like fucking applying for like a job to be in the police force. Like, if you're a criminal, you're not going to be a fucking police officer. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like that. I think it doesn't matter to those people. So I want to know how does the show work morally, or how does the world in the show like work morally? Like, what do they have this like? Do they have this kind of like? I wonder if they have like this moral kind of black and white thing, like where there is like, you know, what you would consider evil stuff. Are there police and stuff in this, like taking down criminals, or is it just like almost like a free world and people like there is no rules, really? Because even the hunter exam itself is just, you know, it's up to the examiner's discretion to do what they want. They can change the phase. They can decide to fucking, you know, kick people out if they want. You know what I mean? There's no real set rules for the hunter examination, and I feel like the hunter thing as itself is the big, almost like the big organization or whatever the fuck that it is. Like, that's the profession of the world. Like the one that is more prominent than anything else. Like, that's the top fucking billing shit is to be a hunter. So I wonder if there is any real laws and things in this world, and you know, like knowing what's like evil and what isn't and shit like that. I wonder. I mean, with Hisoka being like that, like I said, like the darker side, maybe if him wanting to be on top, if there is like a sort of pyramid where there's one dude at the top like overseeing everything, if that's what Hisoka wants, then I don't know, maybe his whole plan is to fucking take him out by killing him and taking his place. I don't fucking know. It's a complicated character, Hisoka. So yeah, I like how Netero as well like had that. I don't know if he just, because it almost like he kind of willed like some energy or something there and then moved, so that, you know, Gon and Killua would look over there where he like willed that sort of like, you know, that presence. And interesting enough, Gon, he knew it was there, so he could sense it, but he couldn't sense who it was, whereas Killua picked up on it straight away. So I'm guessing Killua has some sort of sense. I mean, with him being an assassin, it kind of makes sense. Like, he's able to distinguish people not even by needing to look at them, but by their presence itself. Him being an assassin, he would, you know, depending on, I mean, it's assassin, so I guess they're like hired to do jobs to take out like, you know, high-ranking like aristocrats, if there is that kind of shit going on. I don't know, but they would have to be able to pick them out from a group, maybe, if, you know, in the dark or anything. You can't see anything, but if you're able to sense that specific presence, then then you'll be able to do it in the dark and shit like that. So I imagine that's how Killua sort of is able to sense that it was him, whereas Gon doesn't have that sort of that training. And Gon's whole thing is based upon instinct. I'm positive. Netero said that he uses his head, but he doesn't use his head in a straightforward pattern. It's not like he's thinking of everything and what could go wrong. Whereas I feel like Killua kind of has, because he's so perceptive. I kind of see Killua as looking at every angle and almost like sort of in his head, like having a mental game of like looking into the future of like, oh, if I go here and do this is what could happen. But if I was to go here, so I think he's thinking about like multiple sort of things and how he can basically make the best approach because of that. Whereas Gon, I feel like, is completely based upon instinct in a way. Like, I mean, he's doing this whole thing right where he's one with nature and stuff. So I almost think of him as he acts like an animal as well. Which, is based upon, like, animals and all that is based upon instinct. So, but yeah, I like them that they're sort of, like, similar, but so different as well. Killua's got this like, evil streak in him. I think he killed those two dudes. I like the fact that he said that, like, oh, if he hadn't got out, he would have just killed the guy. So it wasn't much of a case of him giving up more than he just didn't want to be that guy. It could also, like, affect his sort of future as, I mean, he was telling Gon, it's like, no, it's like, I don't want people telling me what I should become. I want to do my own thing, and it's up to me what I get to do in my life, right? So him probably thinking, like, if I was to bloody kill the chairman, then I would probably get kicked out and I wouldn't become a hunter, so therefore I'm just going to back out and just not deal with it. But yeah, it's cool anyway. I love the rhythm echo thing, the after images. That's really cool. I was wondering, like, why he only used it to encircle, because I don't know, like, what he has to do in order for that to work, for that technique to actually work itself, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking, why doesn't he do it when he's attacking him, as opposed to just encircling him? But there might be something where he can't do that. If he has to focus entirely on it, then he can't focus on combat at the same time. So maybe that was it, but it was cool anyway, nonetheless. But I like how he picked up on the fact that Netero was only using two limbs while he was taking on both of them. That entire time he was only using two limbs. And I love the fact that Gon as well, not even considering the obvious goal of getting the ball, but knowing that he would never get it, instead made a game of in of itself is to just push how far he can make him go, like how close he can get without getting the ball, making him use his right hand. Now he made him use it by dodging, which is cool. So he's got that sort of he's definitely got that, like, sort of intrigue that the other characters, like, around him find him interesting just because of the way that he perceives things, and he doesn't think about things the same way as anyone else does, so yeah, there's some definite intrigue there, but yeah, that was a good episode. So that was episode 7. The other thing I want to talk about as well is Netero calling the guy who's, like, piloting the airship and basically saying go slower so that he can get, like, as much. It's almost like a teaching thing that Netero is doing, where he's, like, allowing Gon to have more time to try and push himself and see how far he can actually go. It's also a way for the chairman to kind of assess Gon's potential in a way. So that was really cool. But yeah, that was episode 7. Enjoyed that episode. So that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. Discord, get yourself over if you want any information regarding my content, or you just want to come talk to me out in the community. And Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. If you don't want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. $10 a month, that is the full length, gives you access to my full length library. Everything I react to gets a full length. $50 a month, that is the exclusive tier, gives you access to a bonus show I'm currently reacting to, which is 7 Deadly Sins. So if you're interested in that, get yourself over there. Elite tier, $50. Every time you pay $50, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and it'll go on the list behind about 7 shows. Might take a while to get around to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait that long and you want your show to be reacted to next, and you want to get God tier, which is $100. But that is all, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.